Is it true that Syko Stu has attacked people or had problems with people backstage prior to this?
The only people that have had problems at Pro with altercations is AJ.
You know, pro wrestling saved me from this PTSD and stuff. Like nobody want to fire his ass, but AJ Mana told me everything.
AJ Mana told me, right? It's literally exactly what we just talked about with Doug 5 minutes ago. That everything that he's claiming on this thing is coming from AJ, and it's not true. All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back. So we obviously have to do this video after Rampage did his appearance on Ariel's show, and I read some quotes. I actually have not watched this yet. Like, I haven't watched the whole thing yet, but I read some quotes, you know, some pretty key ones right here that Rampage cut off contact with his son, says he should spend a little time in jail for attacking a pro wrestler. Like, when you read, like, I just read this article. I'm actually just going to go straight to the clips of Rampage on X because I have a feeling that he's going to say this stuff in them and I don't want to be redundant. But, you know, listen, dude, he's like, he dishonored my name. I cut him off. I'm not talking to him. I haven't talked to him since it happened. I heard his side of the story. I've heard a bunch of other stuff. I did what a father does. I defended him, but like, he dishonored my name, you know? So I actually am going to hold my thoughts on it until I actually hear him say it. So that is literally exactly what we're going to get into right now. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I appreciate you guys doing that. Click the like button, all of those things, and let's listen to this. All right. So this is the one where I believe this is where he says he cut off contact with his son. I'm going to listen to it and give my commentary.
I haven't heard or seen Raja since the incident. How is he doing?
I don't know. I don't talk to Roger no more, so I don't know.
Since then,
I talked to him. I heard his story, and I heard some stuff, and then after that, you know, I learned a whole lot of stuff and about it and everything. Roger's wrong. He went against what I told him to do, and he hid the fact that he got roped into a pro wrestling story. Roger's not a pro wrestler. He's a fighter. He's not a pro wrestler. He had no business in that ring. Everybody there was wrong. And yes, my son took it too far, but he knows better. He knows he's wrong for getting involved in a pro wrestling match. You know,
I mean, he's not wrong for getting involved in a pro wrestling match. And again, every time I cover this, I want to reiterate, I got no issue with Rampage. He's in a really tough spot. Like, I'm not looking for ways to, like, shit on Rampage. I love Rampage. This whole situation makes me like him more. But, like, just so I'm being clear about my opinion, like, there's nothing wrong with a pro fighter doing, you know, pro wrestling. Like, how many times have we seen that? Like, guys do that all the time. Michael Chandler has done it with WWE. How many MMA guys have gone into? What about Ken Shamrock? What about all these guys? Like, that's a common, you know, like, as a matter of fact, Rampage could go do WWE, if we're being honest. Like, he'd be awesome at that, you know? Just do a bunch of gear, get juiced out of his mind, and go in there with the chain. He'd be an awesome character for WWE, you know? But, like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with him doing WWE. The problem is that he went crazy and decided to attack the guy and beat him half to death. Like, there's nothing wrong with him doing, you know, pro wrestling.
And he wasn't supposed to do it. I told him he couldn't even go to the gym for 2 weeks.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me rewind. He's saying he shouldn't have been doing pro wrestling because of the concussion. I take everything. I misunderstood his point. Clearly, that's what he was talking about, is he shouldn't have been in the gym because he had a concussion. And he shouldn't have been doing this because he had a concussion. Okay, that's what he meant.
So do you know where he is now?
Most likely he's at home. We've been waiting for a arrest warrant. As soon as we get an arrest warrant, I was going to turn him in. We've been waiting for an arrest warrant or whatever. And I got him a turn. I did what my job is as a father to you know, still take care of my son, because I still love him. Even though how upset I am at my son, I still love him. You know what I'm saying? He's my son. But ever since he's become an adult, he don't listen to shit I say. And, you know, all I can do is, like, be a father. But Roger know I keep it real. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep it real. I'm not going to lie for him and nothing like that. And he knows that I'm going to give him my opinion.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, this makes me like Rampage more. I mean, I already love him, but, like, he's just like he is simultaneously defending his son and throwing his son under the bus at the exact same time. and I don't mean like throw him under the bus. Like, actually, I take that back. That's bad wording. Throw him under the bus usually indicates that you are, like, I don't know, the way I think of throwing under the bus is like, there's two of us in front of a bus and you throw your friend in front of it so you don't get hit by the bus. Usually it means like you are avoiding a problem for yourself. But I just mean like he is defending him and simultaneously being like, he's going to take responsibility. I'll turn him into the cops one way or the other. I thought this whole thing was very telling. He's like, listen, since he's been an adult, he doesn't listen to shit I say. He doesn't listen to nothing I say, which is candidly pretty common, I would imagine, for, a relationship between I don't know how old Rampage is, like 45, 46 years old, and his son is 25 or whatever. Probably pretty, I just mean 25-year-old sons in general. If they're wired like all of us, the people who watch my channel and Rampage and people in the combat sports community, like, you couldn't tell me shit when I was 25. I was an idiot. Like, I'm not saying that like it's a feather in the cap. I'm saying like I'm an idiot, I never did anything this fucked up, but certainly I didn't listen, like I thought I knew everything. My dad probably told me something that whatever, fuck. My dad, if he watched this, he'd probably be like, are you actually looking for examples of times you didn't listen to me, you stupid little idiot? Like, you have any idea how many times you didn't listen to me in your 20s, you fucking moron? But anyway, so now in this one, apparently this is like, he's saying that the police need to investigate. And then he also says, apparently, how many times Syko Stu had attacked somebody backstage and pissed people off being drunk. I know that's not true. I'm going to tell you that right now before we even watch it. That's not true. Doug, if you guys haven't watched my interview with Doug Malo yesterday that was on my channel. By the way, why don't you guys go ahead and follow Doug Malo. Let me just pull him up real quick. So, yeah, the interview that I did with Doug Malo, who is the dude who pulled him off, this is his, all right. Well, there's the video that I did with him yesterday right there. And then here's his channel right here, Doug_Malo right there. So yeah, in this, right. I mean, I talked to him extensively yesterday and like earlier in the day. That whole thing about, Syko Stu had like jumped people previously. That's not true. Like that is just not true. That's not something that's happened. So, I mean, I'm sure that the source on this to Rampage is AJ, but it's not true.
When he gets in the ring, go back and watch this shit. They put the music on for him. They changed the music for him, bro.
Okay.
The promoter.
I called that out. When you guys, anybody who's seen it, like when I did the one from the other angle, I was like, listen, dude, he's got another, like they changed the music. Like clearly he was supposed to be in there.
They told him to fuck him up. And I think AJ Man is the only one that had a little common sense and tell Roger, like, look, remember what a receipt is. You just pop him one time. AJ Man was the only one that had like a little common sense right then. I wish he would have called me, but I was on the ground in New York, so it probably wouldn't have went through.
So clear. Okay, so let me define that for you. Clearly he's spoken to AJ. Clearly he's spoken to AJ, right? Because somehow the spin on give him his receipt was not, hey, hey, go get him, dog. It was like the way it spun to Rampage is like, dude, I told him just give him a receipt. Like all that means is like, do this thing like he did in the interview. But you know what? Let's watch that really quick. Let's just rewatch that clip. And you tell me if you guys think that, it seems like AJ is telling him to escalate what he's supposed to do or de-escalate what he's supposed to do. It's NFL time, and that means it's time for you to join Prize Picks. I don't understand what's daily fantasy. I'll explain that later. What you need to know right this second is that if you deposit $5 and put it in play, they will guarantee give you a free $50 regardless of whether or not you win with that $5 entry fee. Wait, I deposit $5 and I get $50 back regardless of whether I win. Yes, that's correct. So that'd be a 10x return guaranteed. Yeah, that's correct. So who wouldn't do that? I don't know, man. You tell me. Everybody is doing it. So tell us what else we get aside from $50 free. Well, you get to play the best daily fantasy game on the entire internet. Talk to me like a child and explain to me how to play. Prize Picks could not make this game more simple. You're going to pick which sport you want to play, and then you're going to start picking players that you're going to add to your roster. Then we're going to decide whether they're going to get more or less than the stat line provided by Prize Picks. We're going Shedeur Sanders, and we're going more because we are eternal optimists. Let's say you want to start small and you put $5 in play on your first roster. You can win up to $187.50. But if you're a big baller and you want to put, let's say, $50 in play, you can win up to $1,875. But let's say you are a big wallet gangster and you want to put $500 into a single roster. You can win up to $18,750 if all of your players deliver. Now, we also got some new features coming in with this new football season, and you're going to be able to play the same player up to 3 times with 3 different stat lines if you want. It's already live on Major League Baseball and WNBA. When you go to Prize Picks, you use the link in the description and you sign up and you use promo code JesseOnFire. You you are going to get a free $50 once you put $5 in play. Use a link in the description, sign up using promo code JesseOnFire, put in $5 in play, and get your free $50 back. That's a 10x return. You are welcome. I love all of you guys. Let's go. All right, so let's watch that, and you guys tell me what you think.
You run in on his shit, you fucking give him his receipt. Remember what a receipt is? Give him that fucking receipt, bro. Tag his shit. If you got a fucking problem with it, I'll fucking run out there. Tag his shit, bro.
Okay. Guys, look, okay? Now, I am very aware. I have not spoken to AJ. I've spoken to Doug extensively. I like Doug. I trust Doug's word. But, like, I obviously can be aware that there's always two sides to a story. And AJ says that the receipt was just him, like, you know, that this is what a receipt is, right? That's his side of the story. And clearly what he told Rampage is, you know, is like, well, I just told him, like, give him a receipt, which means, like, you know, like I was reminding him, like, don't do it for real. Okay. But then in this video, which is the thing that we're referencing, he also says, tag his shit. And then he says, if anybody's got a problem with it, I will run in. Okay. If you're reminding him to do something he's supposed to be doing, right, then why would you say if anybody's got a problem, I will run in there? Now, the way he could have framed it, right, and I'm sure the way he framed it to Rampage, which is clearly going to be a lie if it is this, was he's like, the promotion told him to fuck him up. And I said, nah, man, just give him a receipt and get out of there. Like, a receipt just means this. Like, I just told him, give him his receipt. Where the organization is the one that told him to fuck Stu up, man. He's like, I tried to tell him and he didn't listen. Okay. You sure? Like, is that, I mean, if you're Rampage and you trust this guy AJ, then yeah, maybe you would believe that. The problem is where he said tag his shit. Okay. Like, no, dude. Okay. If one or like the organization says they said, just go in there and give him a, you know, get like, we're going to turn it into a thing. They give him instructions, whatever. And they say that then AJ said to fuck him up. AJ says that he reminded, you know, Raja not to fuck him up, just give him a receipt. And the only evidence we have is this clip. I'm sorry. I'm going with the organization is telling the truth and not Ray.
You run in on his shit, you fucking give him his receipt. Remember what a receipt is? Give him that fucking receipt, bro. Tag his shit. If you got a fucking problem with it, I'll fucking run out there. Tag his shit, bro.
Shit, dude. Come on, dude. Come on. Hang on a second. You know what we're going to do? We're going to call Doug right now. We're doing this right now. What's up, dude? Hey, I'm literally recording as we speak. Like you're on a video I'm doing. I got a question for you, okay? So check this out. So I watched part of what Rampage, you know, like Rampage did his interview with Ariel Helwani yesterday, right? And in that interview, he said, like the way he's like, you know, I know AJ told him to just give him his receipt, and it was the organization that told him to, you know, told Raja to fuck Stu up. And it's like, okay, so basically the way that AJ is framing it is that by saying give him his receipt, that is supposed to de-escalate things from what was told to Raja. Is that in any semblance of reality accurate?
Fuck no.
Of course not, right?
Yeah, no, because the way Reno talks, the tall Samoan guy, the one they keep calling Deflated Alpha,
Yeah.
the way that he talks, he'll be like, all right, yeah, you're going to go in there, you're going to fuck that guy up. But he's speaking in terms of wrestling.
Of course.
They would never, ever tell somebody to go in there and actively hurt somebody.
Yeah. And so, like, listen, and I've always just operated under the assumption that give him a receipt, you know, means to light a guy up, because that's the kind of, like, you're like, oh, he did this, we'll fucking give him his receipt. Like, I think of that as clearly a, you know, tit for tat type situation. You know what I mean? Where like, is there, you know, the way that he explained it in his interview was like, if I say give him a receipt here, this is what a receipt is. Remember he punched himself?
Yeah.
Is that like, is a receipt like a wrestling term that everyone would know means to like hit a guy real light, or no?
It means it's like less than, or it's basically like equal force, or to like wake somebody up. Like, let's say you gave me 3 stiff punches in the mouth.
Yep.
I'm like, is this guy doing this on purpose? Like, does he not understand how hard he's hitting me? Let me give him a quick receipt. And then I'm like, hey, fucker, lighten up.
Okay.
Brock Lesnar.
Yep.
Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman. Look that up.
Okay.
Right? You see Brock Lesnar, he gets kneed in the face hard as fuck by Braun Strowman. And then Brock Lesnar pops him hard as fuck and says, slow the fuck down.
Okay, so that, and yeah, so him hit.
It's a tool.
Yep, understood. So you match what they brought to you. It's like if you're sparring a new guy and you're like, hey, how hard do you want to go? And the dude's like, I'll hit you as hard as you hit me, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and then basically, but what AJ's saying is tag his shit. He's saying, you know what a receipt is? Tag his shit.
Yeah.
I think he even says, you know what I mean? Like, give him a real one.
That's he literally says exactly, tag his shit. And then he says, if anybody's got an issue with it, I'll come in there. Right. So like the only way that the way that he framed it to Rampage would be real is if like he's saying, don't hit him as hard as they told you to. And if anybody's got an issue with that, I'll go in and I'll handle it. It's like, yeah, fucking right, dude. I figured, dude. I figured. Well, say hello to my viewers. Everybody go follow Doug Mallow. All right. So that was a side quest. Let's continue.
Bro, they changed the music when my son get in the ring. Bro. But no, this is a fucked up thing though. What took them so long? Because they said, all right, you punch him until we pull you off. What took his other friends, his teammate, whatever the fuck they are, so long to get in there and get Roger off of him?
I mean, listen, taking, like listening to that and you think about it, it's like, clearly there's some validity to that. Now, there's no reason why Roger should have been hitting him that hard, but without a doubt, like, I mean, if they said hit him until we pull you off, which I feel like I've actually seen a clip of that, like, I mean, obviously it wouldn't matter, right? But because you're not hitting him full throttle, you're hitting him, like if you're just kind of doing your thing. And then when he started hitting him full throttle, everybody froze because they were like in shock, except for Doug, And Doug, if you look at the other angle, Doug was like, what is everybody doing? And then he dove in there and, probably saved Stu's life. But there's certainly validity to what Rampage just said right there.
Think about that. That's probably why ain't nobody talking to the fucking police. Not because I fucking paid anybody off. I wouldn't pay. I would never do that. You can't even do that shit in America. That shit is illegal as fuck. I don't know those dudes. And that shit, then they put me in there and I can go to fucking jail for some shit like that. I ain't that fucking stupid. Y'all, the police need to investigate that shit. Why it took his friend so long to get in that fucking ring.
But all to say, regardless,
because they froze. They either were not there or they. I mean, listen. Aside from Doug and then the other guys who dove in there afterwards, like there's a word for that, right? It starts with a P.
He should have never even been there.
He should never even been there. But I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna leave you to this. And this is gonna be the last time I talk about this shit. This ain't the first time Syko Stu done some shit like this.
That's not true. That's not true. I'm not gonna call Doug back, but well, fuck. I probably should, dude. I probably should, honestly, because that's a big deal. All right, so this is an even more important question that I have for you. Okay, so is it true that Syko Stu has attacked people or had problems with people backstage prior to this, or is this the first time that like? Because what Rampage said is that he's hearing that like this is a common thing that Stu is like hit people with things or like gotten drunk and then like had problems with people backstage, or is that just total bullshit?
What the fuck? Like no, that was fucking hurt. Stu, that is the only bad incident that we've had at Knoxon's.
Like ever, yeah, okay. So not only Stu, just never anything like that, period. So Stu has never had any beef or any kind of problems backstage with anyone ever.
The only people that have had problems at Pro with altercations is AJ.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because you can tell the way if you watch. I'll send you this video when I'm done so you can see. But like you could tell by the way that Rampage is answering these questions that all of his information is for sure coming from AJ, without a doubt.
AJ's the biggest fucking liar on the planet. Like look at all the times he contradicted himself on JBL's podcast. Like we went over that.
Yeah.
Even when he tried to visit Stu at the hospital. So I did find out that he tried to show up at the hospital, right?
Yeah.
The people from D6 Ranch and Stu's wife said, "Get the fuck out of here."
I just cut that part off because Doug is going to put out a story specifically about that, the ranch people being at Stu's and then AJ trying to show up and then what happened there. So I want to let, he has the YouTube channel. Go follow it. I'm going to let him tell that story. So I cut that part out and you guys can listen to him tell the story later. Because at the end of the day, like a lot of this stuff, it's like people are getting their information from different sources, but everyone who's following this story is going to watch Rampage's interview with Ariel. And if, people hear that Stu has been like beating people up backstage or that this is something that happens all the time, that's what's going to lead to people, like fucking with his family online and all that stuff. That's why I wanted to make sure that we got that out there, that that's not true. All right, let's continue though.
Backstage, motherfucker be drinking all the goddamn time. And he plays that pro wrestling saved me from this PTSD and stuff, like nobody want to fire his ass. But AJ Mana told me everything. This ain't the first time he done some drunken shit like this backstage. So they know his ass. They ain't gonna snitch on him. I don't owe them, none of them no loyalty. My loyalty to my son, and even though I don't fuck with my son right now, I'm still gonna keep it 100 and be.
Hey, AJ Mana told me, right? It's literally exactly what we just talked about with Doug 5 minutes ago. That everything that he's claiming on this thing is coming from AJ, and it's not true. All right, so let's keep it going and wrap this thing.
Be loyal. The police need to investigate that shit. How many times Syko Stu attack somebody backstage and piss people off, being drunk and shit. Then you guys will figure out what took so long for them pro wrestlers to get in that fucking.
Of course. So what AJ's saying then is that the reason no one went in there is because he's had problems with everybody, and so that's why no one went in there, is because all of them wanted to see Stu get his ass kicked. And it sounds like there's only one person who wanted to see Stu get his ass kicked, and it's AJ, So let's finish this thing up. This is about what Rampage thinks his son should have.
Fuck all that. Roger, I think that he should do a little time, do a little community service, and go to anger management class, see some therapy.
But that goes like some people said it was attempted murder and things like that. That's not a little time.
It wasn't attempted murder because he wasn't trying to kill that guy.
I think it's aggravated assault. It's aggravated assault, But that's it. And I just want to reiterate as I close this out, I'm not shitting on Rampage at all. I think Rampage literally could not have possibly handled this situation any better than he has. And honestly, he only knows one person there. He only knows AJ. So like, why would he not believe AJ? And you also got to keep in mind, dude, people are going to behave real different around Rampage. Like the people that Rampage knows really well, that he's met within the last, handful of years, it's probably pretty small. You know what I mean? Like he's Rampage, dude. Everybody's going to act different around him, And for those of you who are like, interested in building like strong bonds and relationships with people who are famous, simple. Act like yourself all the time. Just show them exactly, like just be genuine, be normal, and act like they are normal. And just, there's just something cool. Like it's cool. They have a cool job or something. You know what I mean? Because that's all they want. Like anybody who's a celebrity and does not want people to treat them normal is a celebrity that you don't want to be like close friends with anyway. You know what I mean? Most of them just totally normal, right? Anyway, that's what I got. I love Rampage. But I can't let him fucking spread lies about Stu. He's doing it unknowingly, but I can't let him spread a bunch of lies about Stu, right? Without responding. And like I said, look out for Doug's video that's going to come out because he's going to tell the whole story about the D3 guys coming.